Welcome to Kindness Stories, where simple acts of compassion change lives in ways we never expect. Every story here reminds us that even in a world filled with challenges, hope, courage, and kindness can shine through the darkest of days. If you're someone who believes in the power of love, second chances, and unexpected heroes, you're in the right place. So settle in and get ready for a story that will stay with you long after it ends. It was one of those cold, gray mornings where the sky looked like it might burst into tears any moment. Marcus pulled his hoodie tight around his ears as he stepped outside. The winter wind clawed at his cheeks, and his breath came out in thick clouds. He hated mornings like this. They reminded him of everything he was trying to leave behind. At 22, Marcus was finally piecing his life together after years of poor decisions, running with the wrong crowd, and disappointing his father over and over again. He had finally gotten a steady job at a local mechanic shop. It didn't pay much, but it was honest work, and for the first time in a long time, he felt proud of himself. He lived in a tiny one-room apartment above the garage, and though it smelled of oil and rubber most days, it was his. He was even thinking about going back to school part-time. He had goals now, plans, and nothing was going to derail that. As he walked to the bus stop that morning, he passed the same alley he always did, between the pharmacy and the closed-down bakery. But something was different today. He heard a soft sound, like a whimper or maybe someone crying. He slowed his steps, peering into the shadows, and that's when he saw her. She was curled up beside a dumpster, a blanket pulled tightly around her shoulders. A small girl, maybe 16 or 17. Her face was dirty, her lips cracked, and her eyes hollow with exhaustion. She wasn't asking for help. She was just trying to survive. Marcus kept walking. He had a shift to get to. He told himself that someone else would see her, someone better equipped, maybe a social worker or a cop or even someone from the shelter on 9th Street. He wasn't the guy for this, not anymore. But 10 steps later, he stopped. He turned around slowly. She was still there, motionless, hugging her knees like they were the only thing left keeping her whole. Sighed deeply. Marcus walked back. Hey, he said softly, not wanting to scare her. You all right? She flinched at his voice and looked up, her eyes wide and fearful. It was the look of someone who had been hurt too many times by people who were supposed to help. I'm not gonna do anything, he said quickly. You look cold. You hungry? She didn't speak, but her eyes flickered, and her stomach made a sound loud enough that even he heard it. Marcus reached into his backpack and pulled out a granola bar. It was all he had on him. He handed it to her, and she took it hesitantly. What's your name? He asked. She swallowed hard before answering. Emma. He nodded. I'm Marcus. She didn't say anything else. Just ate the granola bar in tiny bites like it might be her last meal. You from around here? She shook her head. Where's your family? She stared at the ground. He didn't push. He just stood there, shifting his weight from one foot to the other, unsure of what to do next. This wasn't part of the plan. He had finally gotten his life together. He wasn't supposed to get involved with strangers in alleyways. But something in her eyes made him stay. Listen, there's a shelter about 10 blocks from here. I can take you. She stiffened. No, please, I can't go there. Why not? She didn't answer. Okay, he said, trying to think. I know a diner up the road. Let me buy you something warm. Just something small. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. But I can't just leave you here. To his surprise, she nodded. They walked to the diner in silence. She kept her head down the whole way, avoiding eye contact with every passerby. When they got inside, the waitress gave them a suspicious look, but Marcus smiled and ordered the hot chocolates and some pancakes. As they ate, Emma finally began to talk. She had run away from home 6 months ago. Her stepfather had been abusive, and her mother refused to believe her. After too many nights of bruises and broken promises, she left. Since then, she'd been sleeping wherever she could find shelter: bus stations, parks, alleyways. She tried staying at shelters, but one of them had someone who hurt her, and she never went back. Marcus listened, his heart sinking with every word. You ever think about going back home? He asked. Asterisk no, she said flatly. Not unless he's gone. And he's not. Asterisk Marcus sat back. He wanted to help her, but what could he do? He didn't have money. He wasn't a social worker. He wasn't anyone important. Just a guy trying to fix his own life. Asterisk, but he couldn't walk away. Asterisk come stay at the shop, he said before he could change his mind. Asterisk her eyes widened. What? Asterisk I live above the garage where I work. It's not much, just one room, but it's warm. You can have the bed. I'll take the floor. Asterisk she hesitated. Why would you do that? Asterisk because someone should have helped me when I was in trouble, and no one did. I'm not gonna be that person for you. Asterisk Emma looked at him for a long moment, trying to decide whether to trust him. Then slowly, she nodded. Asterisk they walked back together. Marcus introduced her to his boss the next day, telling him she was a cousin visiting from out of town. His boss raised an eyebrow, but said nothing. Over the next few days, Emma slowly began to come out of her shell. She cleaned up, helped around the shop, even learned a bit about cars from Marcus. She smiled more, laughed once or twice. It was like watching a flower bloom in the snow. Asterisk Marcus kept her presence a secret. He didn't want to put her in danger. He knew how fragile this safety was, but he also knew it couldn't last forever. Asterisk then one day, his father showed up. Asterisk they hadn't spoken in nearly a year. After Marcus's last arrest, his father had given up on him, said he was tired of watching his son throw his life away. Asterisk, but here he was, standing in the doorway of the shop, arms crossed. Asterisk Marcus, he said quietly, I need to talk to you. Asterisk Marcus braced himself. Not now, Dad. Asterisk it's important. Asterisk reluctantly. Marcus stepped outside with him. Asterisk I heard from your Aunt Clara. His father began. She said you've been doing better, holding down a job, staying clean. Asterisk Marcus nodded. Yet asterisk his father looked him over.